All right, so I just got done with over 700 hours of comprehensible input, and I just wanted to make a language documentary of my journey, myself as a language learner, as somebody probably like you, somebody who's looking to learn a language, discover comprehensible input, and just so you get a general idea of what you can expect at this level of 700 hours of input-based learning. And I'm gonna be real, it's been some struggles here, and I'm gonna talk about them in this video. But let's start off with the pros. The pros right now is native content from YouTubers that are everyday life, travel videos. Right now, I'm binging golfing videos, car videos, workout videos. Those have become quite easy for me. So I pretty much understand everything that's going on, those slice of life. So if you didn't know, something that I discovered, and it works very well now with YouTube, you basically find a niche and just keep watching videos over and over on that niche until you understand the content very well. And you'll be amazed. You'll start off not knowing anything. You don't know the words, you don't know what's going on. But over time, if you watch 20 hours plus of that same type of content, say golfing videos, tennis videos, workout videos, travel videos, eventually you start picking up like how do they book things, how do they buy things, and you really understand a higher degree of the language in that particular context, and you just go over it over and over again. And that's what I really like in doing right now. I've had a lot of success with it. Reading, still absolutely no reading. I actually had somebody ask me, could I read something in Thai? They sent it to me. I had no idea what's going on. I don't know the script at all still. Trying to think of another win. Watching movies that I watched previously. So Don't Come Home. I watched the first episode again on that on Netflix, and I would say that it's been quite easy. Another win must be Thai dramas that are completely free on YouTube. Again, look at the playlist so you can see all the content that I'm consuming. I don't include anything on there that I feel is not comprehensible. And this will save you literally hours and hours of your life. It takes a lot of time to find creators, to find content that's comprehensible for somebody at your level, such as myself. So after about 700 hours of comprehensible input, everybody on my July playlist should be comprehensible for you. So just keep that in mind. I don't include anything that's not comprehensible at this current level. But I've had a lot of success with Thai dramas. They're very simple, straightforward, and I find a lot of joy with this. So I'm getting a lot of positive feedback from consuming this type of content. It's fun to watch. And again, those are the pros right now with comprehensible input. Let's talk about some of the negatives and possible regrets. So one of the negatives has to be I cannot understand Korean dramas dubbed in Thai. So what I mean by this is that there is a series called Squid Games. You probably already know it. It's a very common, very popular drama. I tried to watch this. It's actually dubbed in Thai on Netflix in the USA. And I tried to watch it dubbed in Thai. I would say my comprehension of that show was so low where I could got the general idea of what was going on, but because it's so emotional, because there's so many like meanings and layers in a Korean drama, I discovered that this is by far the hardest content for me to consume thus far, besides reading obviously because I can't read. But Korean dramas I've tried to do When Life Gives You Tangerines, I've tried Glory on Netflix, and I brought this up in I believe my April update, and still, it's the hardest content is when I'm trying to watch a Korean drama dubbed in Thai. The lips don't match, the acting's a little bit different than the way the Thai people would be acting, and it's just maybe the genre, the Korean dramas, they like bigger words, it's more dramatic. I'm not for sure, but it is quite a challenge at this level still. have a really hard time following dubbed content, especially from Korean dramas in the Thai language. The Thai dramas that are free on YouTube that I include on my playlist, I understand to a higher degree. Maybe they're more simple, maybe they're easier to understand, less, underlying themes are going on, more less adult themes maybe. I'm not for sure, but the native content seems to be easier to consume for somebody at my level, or somebody would be at your level if you're right here at 700 hours as well. Another challenge is the intermediate playlist for the Comprehensible Input YouTube channel. So if you notice my playlist myself, I haven't been consuming that many videos from that category right now. I've been using Riem Thai, Understand Thai, and a lot of native content. Once I discovered about a month ago, so probably after about 600 hours, that native content was really accessible and more pleasurable to watch, I would say. I've really been steering away from the intermediate playlist. The videos are long. I would say that they're on the more boring side. If you're tired, it's just hard to get through some of those videos. If you remember my previous update, probably about the B0 and B1 playlist, how boring it gets, I feel almost the exact same way. And the problem is that I know if I just focus on the intermittent, if I actually just focus on the comprehensible input channel, my vocabulary would increase, but my enjoyment is so low. I don't think I can't focus as long on those. The native content, I'm still learning words, but it's because it's so niche, the words are just repeated over and over. I'm learning that way. I'm not expanding my vocabulary as quickly, possibly, by not using the comprehensible input intermediate playlist. I I will finish this playlist. It's just right now at the point of my life where life is busy, I'm tired. I want to consume things that are interesting, engaging. That intermediate playlist, like, it's long. There's so many videos. It's not broken down like intermediate 1, 2, and 3 and 4. Maybe if the creators did that, I could like motivate myself to get done with intermediate 1. I've already skipped around and watched quite a few videos. I can't do them in order because some of the creators, I just, I don't want to pick on anybody. It's just some of them are just not as good as the others, but their topics they're talking about are important, that I would eventually need to do these videos to learn them, or I can slowly just integrate them with native content. Yes, it is slower using native content than comprehensible input, but I just feel like my engagement is so much higher than the intermediate playlist from the comprehensible input channel that I would start zoning off. I wouldn't be as focused. And that's another thing I just want to bring up right now. If you're having trouble focusing on the videos and you're at an intermediate level in the comprehensible input realm, 500 plus hours, try finding native content. I think this is probably the best thing I did, was to get, away from those playlists a little bit, break free, reward yourself with something interesting, engaging. Like right now, I'm consuming a lot of golf videos. I'm consuming a lot of workout videos, or just things that in general nature I just find engaging, entertaining, because it'll keep your interest up high in the language. If you are also not able to focus, find somebody, a creator, a guy, a girl, somebody you're attracted to, and watch them. Maybe that'll help you focus a little bit. Whatever it takes, just be engaged with the language would help you. It's better than nothing, or it's better than just staring at a screen zoned out, not absorbing nothing. Just, if you're actively watching, paying attention to the videos, that's what you want. And it's really been beneficial to me. Another regret, I would say, is that in the beginning, I definitely focused a lot more on the textbooks. So I know some people ask, like, would I go back and study more of the books? I don't think I would. I would just really recommend the Ask Me Old Thai book. I feel like that was a great introduction to the language, introduction to the way it sounds. It was structured. That gave me a huge boost. I the more I think back about the time I spent dwelling on, say, the Becker's book, the Teach Yourself book, I was going through, shoot, another book, I can't even think about it. I feel like all those were a waste of time, really. Trying to focus on writing for a few weeks, that really put me back on my language learning, and it wasn't beneficial. I feel like the level I'm at now, I would have been even higher if I just took, that month or so, just focus on a book, and just put that more into, content. I probably would have got a lot further. Would I recommend just jumping into comprehensible input? You can if you want. I would highly recommend just getting a beginner's book. I know some of the purists will hate me saying this, but I feel like the boost, their theory is if you spend less than 50 hours, you're not going to have much quote unquote damage. I'm not even going to go into that. But I feel like the boost is definitely noticeable. And at the Ask Me Thai book, if you can get that book with the audio, I feel like that was a good boost into the language itself. At least get through the first 50 lessons, and then, hit the Comprehensible Input YouTube channel. If you want like a Becker's or Teach Yourself book, colloquial, you can do that as well. But the most common words, you're going to hear them over and over. I would say the, top 2,000 words, you're going to hear all the time, so you don't really have to study them. What I find now, the hard content is actually the words that are rare or uncommon, and that's just going to come with a lot of repetition. I did watch a YouTube channel that was reviewing a guy who spent over 2,000 hours of comprehensible input in Spanish, a much easier language than Thai. And he said the only thing he could really say is, where's the bathroom and simple things in that nature. And he didn't understand any of the grammar, the gender. I would say at 700 hours, way less than 2,000 hours in Spanish, all those concepts are already, weaned out. Like there's nothing grammatically that I feel like I struggle with at 700 hours. I got exposed to basic grammar through the Ask Me book and the other books, and I saw it repeated for hundreds and hundreds of hours, where I messaged some other comprehensible Thai YouTube people learning on Reddit and whatnot and YouTube, and trying to see like how their success is, what challenges them, and trying to come together as a community. And they have trouble with prepositions, complex sentences, but all those are kind of explained very easily in the beginner books. And I've noticed them for hundreds and hundreds of hours where I'm not really struggling with those concepts still. And I really, really say that it's because of the beginner books in the beginning, not focusing too much, just get exposure to notice things quicker. I feel like that boost was absolutely huge. Vocabulary wise, I feel like it helped. I would say the comprehensible input helped a lot more once things got going. Vocabulary wise, to understand the actual words. Comprehensible input was by far the best way for that. But just being exposed to the language, at least somewhat, before consuming hundreds of hours of content, I feel like that definitely helped. There was another guy that said he had only like 800 hours of comprehensible input and he was speaking freely. Do I feel like 700 hours of Thai could I speak freely? And the answers are yay or nay. If I really, really wanted to, I think I could describe my everyday life quite well. I would be able to say what I did, what I'm doing, what I want to do, going places, ordering food. If I want to do basic life functions, I feel like I would do quite well once I start speaking. When I start thinking in Thai, I can definitely think in Thai. Yeah, that's for sure. I don't think in English when I'm thinking in Thai or listening to Thai. I think completely in Thai. There's no translating. I feel like the hard part, I know some people will say like, it's going to be hard for you to start speaking after 1,000 hours. But I mean, it's going to be hard to speak no matter what. And I feel like my ability to speak is hopefully is going to accelerate quickly. after 1,000 hours, I'm going to start speaking and putting speaking videos on this channel. So if you're not subscribed yet, definitely subscribe because those videos are coming. We're only 300 hours away now from speaking and start shocking natives and whatnot. That is the ultimate goal as somebody who is, approaching 40 years old, learning a language that is not related to my own, no real past experience with, and I'm documenting it completely for free on this YouTube channel. So make sure you follow along so it gives you a realistic idea of what is to be expected of a language learner studying a language who's actually older with a kid who works like 2 or 3 jobs, and it's in a very complex area in life. So if you don't know anything about where we're at, we're in Palm Beach, one of the most expensive real estate areas in the entire country of the United States. I don't live in Thailand. I'm not exposed to Thai on a constant, everyday basis. And what I do, I just enjoy life down here. And language learning is a hobby. It's not something that I'm a complete expert on. Don't expect, me to be citing off all these studies and whatnot. I'm just here documenting my journey and sharing my success and losses with you so you know what to do and what not to do from an everyday language learner. So again, speaking wise, I feel like it's going to be really difficult probably at first to, motor memory of muscles to be able to move my mouth according to the way the Thai people sound. But a lot of people, if you didn't know, I actually studied languages probably like 10, 15 years ago. I actually have some older videos on this YouTube channel as well. That the hardest part is really listening comprehension to like natives. I feel like once you get that out of the way, the other part should be easier. And that's what we're going to be really focused on. The hard part's pretty much done for me after 1,000 hours of listening, and hopefully get my level up even higher in these next 300 hours. And then after that, it's going to be really hitting speaking hard. We are going to be doing a lot of situations, run into strangers in Thai, and try to document the journey and the speaking journey and becoming a high level Thai speaker who is not in Thailand for sure. And we got plenty of time. Some people were like, oh, you got to start doing it now, but I'm not really in a rush. I don't need to speak Thai. It's a hobby of mine. I plan on retiring Thai maybe in 30 years when I'm like 70, but other than that, it's just a hobby. I don't need to speak right now. And if you want any more feedback or have any other questions, leave them in the comment section below, and maybe I'll answer them on the next video. Take care.